Hey guys, welcome back to Godzillathon, and thank God I'm still here. I mean, what else could I do besides all work and shit? Who knows? Like, I don't know. Those two videos I uploaded the other day, like top 10 favorite Godzilla monsters and 8 favorite couples. I mean, that's all I could relate for. It's just that's what I did yesterday for Valentine's Day. But at the same time, I'm just frustrated with life and work and class. I don't know, shit. But with that being said, and another thing, yes, I finally watched the Japanese version of Godzilla 2000. My thoughts, I think it sucks. The only good things I can say is the actual voices of these characters and the brightness of the screen, how you're watching it. That's pretty much it. But taking the material of saying it didn't really tell us that much. Like, it looks like the movie Toho completely rushed Godzilla 2000 Millennium, the Japanese version. It looks like they rushed it so bad. Did not mention of Godzilla being mentioned in 1954, or the effects on Godzilla are really dull and shit. And worst of all, Orga's roar in the Japanese version, it doesn't fit at all. It just sounds it didn't fit well for Orga. That's why the American version was. But anyways, with that being said, we are now on episode 25 of Godzillathon, and my god, was this worse than the Japanese version of Godzilla 2000. This is what I call the weakest of the Millennium series. Of course, that's why we're here for Godzilla vs. Megaguirus. So, this movie stinks. It stinks so bad that I literally want to replace this with Godzilla vs. Megalon. I have so much mixed feelings between this, Godzilla vs. Megalon, and Godzilla vs. Hedorah. Which of these movies is way worse and stuff like that. So, I mean, like, Hedorah was number 10 and Megalon was number 9 and stuff. And Megaguirus, of my least favorite Godzilla films. Megaguirus, now I had to push those two films I mentioned right there and have Megaguirus on number 9. Because, oh my god, somebody help me out, please. This is one of the worst Godzilla movies I've ever seen in my life. I don't know, like, is that like the numbering of how much it's supposed to be? Like, I mean, it's not. I'm not saying it's a terrible Godzilla movie. It's not watchable. I'm saying, like, I'm sorry. That's one of my dogs. What I'm trying to say is, it's not like a Godzilla movie. I mean, sure, it has a bit of enjoyment moments. But at the same time, well, I mean, I'm correct. Yes, it's on number 9. But at the same time, it's just that it doesn't really do much for me. It's not like a movie that, oh, I gotta go back and watch this shit and stuff like that. But it's more like, I'm gonna have to wait for another year to watch this movie. And then wait for another year to go back for a little bit and shit. So, yeah, that's how much I could state with this. I mean, it's really dull. It's a weird script, and but it does have enjoyable moments. I mean it does. But with that being said, let's begin. So the movie opens up with probably the stupidest intro. One of the stupidest intros I've ever seen. The attack of 1954, but with stock footages from Godzilla 2000. What fucked up intro was this? It's in 1954, but changed up Godzilla's design into the one that we have right now. How fucking stupid this is. This is the stupidest intro I've ever seen in my life. Like, who came up with this idea? I want to talk to that person. Whoever came up with that idea needs to get shot in the kneecaps 100 times, because that is the stupidest intro. But anyways, after all that bullshit, Godzilla now attacks again in 1966. And then 1996. Oh boy. So, we have pretty much what you must have seen. It's similar of Godzilla against Mechagodzilla, whatever. But anyways, it's the soldiers, including the main female protagonist, which is the main protagonist, shooting so many fire like heat-seeking missiles from gigantic bazookas, like giant bazookas trying to shoot down Godzilla. And what do you expect? It can't work well. All the soldiers are dead except for the female protagonist of the film. I mean, of course, she the one except that the fact one of them saved her life when the building collapsed on him. She gets so pissed and decides to claim revenge on Godzilla. So after all that, we get pretty much a somewhat good intro. The Godzilla versus Megaguirus, the G-Force, whatever. Hang on, I'm trying to read the title. The Godzilla vs. Megaguirus. The G Extermination strategy. Yeah, that sounds like one of the dumbest titles I've ever seen. The G Extermination strategy. I'm sorry. What a dumb title and a dumb idea. Like, I don't know. This is actually I forgot to tell you. This is probably also dumb. This movie ignored Godzilla 2000. So, yeah, I was pissed. When I was a kid, I was confused. Like, is it really connected? They're connected movies. They have the same design. But no, it's not. Who thought of that idea? Rebooting so many times. Wow, we got a Spider-Man reference, didn't we? Spider-Man MCU ignoring the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man, which are both total shit. Garfield Spider-Man was shit. Exactly. Both his movies are shit. And the MCU Spider-Man is cake. It's perfect. Ugh, whatever. But what I'm saying is this is what they keep doing, and it sucks. This is a dumb thing. Fuck it. Let's just move on right now. So then we cut to 2000, or when it was released in the U.S., 2001. That the girl Kiriko, that's her name, Kiriko Tsujimori, played by Mitsatu Tanaka. Tanaka. That's a real life name. Yep, that's real life. The real life. I think she's the daughter of Tomoyuki Tanaka, if I'm correct. Led this guy who created those weird looking micro cooking bots with some kind of a weird trick in front of kids, and which they think, okay, it's a trick. It sucks. So, anyways. She led them to a warehouse, which used to be a warehouse, but now it's the headquarters of the G-Force, whatever. I'm just gonna keep saying G-Force because who the fuck cares? That they created like a satellite-based type weapon that could actually fire miniature black holes called the Dimension Tide, which opens a wormhole through which a prehistoric. Which actually intends to create like some kind of a weird atmosphere or whatever shit. They want to use that to defeat Godzilla. You know, that's kind of an odd thing. I don't think you could ever. I mean, it's a pretty cool idea to get rid of Godzilla with a black hole. I mean, it's great and stuff like that. Oh, shit, I forgot to mention to tell you in the beginning when Godzilla attacks, in 1996. I think Godzilla's theme in this movie looks okay. It sounds okay. It's a pretty cool theme, but I just hate that pacing theme. It's starting to become corny. it's just that when it comes to this film, it makes it super corny and cheesy. Like, come on, man. So, I mean, come on. There are 2 Godzilla movies after this one that done way better than this shit. Yeah, god damn, help me out with this shit. Anyways, let's just move on. Next, we cut to, like, 2 or 3 months later, like, I don't know, whatever it is. We see, like, the kid who I think is part of the role of this film. John Hayasaka, played by... Yeah, that's the kid, played by Suzuki Hiroyuki. Pretty interesting. Going to some kind of class that with a bunch of insects and stuff like that. The class of, I don't know, science class with bugs and insects. But then I don't know if that's really his class that was right there with the black hole situation. But the military tried to. He goes around the forest, seeing everything what was going on. They fired They were testing black hole on that place, on that like school or class. I don't know what the fuck that is. They tested right there, and they think it was successful. So the kid was, of course, caught, but our main female protagonist, Kiriko, the main protagonist, she tells him to please keep a secret, so like she doesn't tell anyone what happened. But yeah, I don't know. It's kind of a dull type dialogue. I don't know. But with that being said, we cut to nighttime, and when he's looking back after hearing something, he sees like a shadow of some kind of a giant insect. Oh boy, that's just nutsack. So what he found was, remember the same place that the black hole that they shot and destroyed that place. But the thing that was flying was a giant dragonfly, which turns out to be the Meganulan or Meganulan. Wow, Meganulan. That's crazy. So I'm gonna say the Meganulan was just a caterpillar type dragonfly, and Meganulan is like in its dragonfly form. So he was about to run back to the house, but he found the egg of the Meganulan, and he took it with him. So then later on at Tokyo, the box that he had the Meganulan inside, the egg of the Meganulan, he realizes that it's about to hatch out, like it's dripping all over the place. So he took it somewhere outside of his apartment. Was about to put it in the garbage, but they told him, no, you can't put garbages in. There's no garbage today. So then he did another sneaky plan. This is probably the biggest one you should never do. He put that egg in the sewers. Remember what Robot Chicken said? You cannot put things like those inside the sewers. That's how New York has giant alligators and shit. I mean, I'm sure that's just an urban... yes, that's urban legend, but fuck that. So, yeah, kids are sometimes dumbasses, but technically, I don't know, there's some who are not. Right? Fuck balls. Fuck balls. Moving on. So, anyways, we cut to, like, the whole section of, like, saying, oh, we're ready to test it when Godzilla's finally gonna come. Hooray. But then, the next day, the same kid we saw who dumped that Meganulan's egg down in the sewers actually saw that the sewers water was rising up, and he's like, oh shit. He starts out running, and then the whole investigators and everything had to deal with saying, what the hell's wrong with this thing? And then we see a giant the people who were working on like construction stuff, plumbers, whatever shit's going on, they were trying to say, oh shit, what's going on? And then we see the Meganulan looking down from high above. Then there was the two couple trying to get the next scene is like the two couples trying trying to get like drinks and stuff like that. One guy was actually listening to music, trying to get in there, like some kind of a corner of behind a building, whatever. Like it's so dark and stuff like that. And then like he would start smoking, listening to music, blah blah blah. Then the Meganulans actually goes up to go up for the kill, which is probably one of the most gruesome scenes in a Godzilla film. His girlfriend came in, and that Meganulan did the same thing. He killed her, just like he killed her boyfriend. And then it goes up to the building where it turns into it starts to hatch out a dragonfly type. It's formed, the Meganulan. So yeah. By the way, guys, I did not mention this, but this Meganulan thing, or Meganulan, whatever, this is not the first time we've ever seen this before. These things first appeared in the 1956 film Rodan. Yeah, there was a Rodan movie that it features the Meganulans or the Meganulan, just in caterpillar type forms. Like you don't see it in dragonfly forms. So the caterpillar forms in Rodan looks really like a silly thing, but in this movie they look a little bit frightening. So yeah, there we see that. Then we see like the kid who was staring out from his window during the night, looking at what's going on and stuff like that, just looking out to the city. But then he saw the Meganulan like flying around. He's like, oh shit! Like he saw a ghost. Like he goes, oh my god, it's true. So he starts hiding under the covers, trying to get away from this thing. Oh man, these things are just, think about it. These things are crazy. Like, come on, they are. So, moving on. So now we get to like some kind of an ocean, and I'm gonna go skip a lot for it. And they found like one of the probably the corpse of the Meganulan, that it was killed by Godzilla, and we see Godzilla, of course, and now I'm starting to forget that name, Hirooki or something, I don't know, shit, no, it's Kiriko, that's her name, Kiriko. She had like a little pistol which actually shoots a tracker on Godzilla, which is probably the same thing she got from working out, I don't know. So she got that, and she shot Godzilla so she could track him, or they could track him. And then I'm gonna keep skipping forward more. We cut to the city, which is basically flooded all over the place because of the Meganulans causing so much crap and shit. And oh my god! And skipping along, we see a huge gap, like a lot of Meganulans, dragonflies everywhere, and they're spreading all over the place. Wow. When I was a kid, I was terrified of this moment. Like, it's not only did it terrify me, but it actually made me sick. Like, I just want to puke. Like, it's starting to disgust me. So all these dragonfly forms are going up on Godzilla. I'm going to skip more to it, and Godzilla is getting his ass, well, not ass handed to it, but like there's dragonflies and all the Meganulans flying everywhere, and Godzilla trying to suck up a lot of his energy. And when they test the black hole, finally they thought they got him, or shit, who knows? They finally got him. But no! It didn't work! How sad. Boo-hoo. Better luck next time. But it did manage to kill most of the Meganulans, and then a few just fly away. Yeah, Godzilla's going after these bastards again. So, yep, let's go for it. Oh well, Godzilla's gonna go up to these bastards. So, all of them retreated, and they went back into the ocean, and they all evolved into, like, they started to form in that big giant thing that was underwater around the city when it was flooded, and they all transformed into their queen, of course, which she roses up during the night. So at night the queen rose up, and she's given the name Megaguirus, the queen of the Meganulans, which I like to say she's, out of all the kaijus, the most pure evil of all female kaijus, which is why I refer to her as the Kaiju Witch. Yeah, she's a witch. So, Megaguirus causes destruction, and she's kind of a terrifying monster. So, the next, moving on, going straight forward, we cut to Godzilla rising up, and the ship, which I forgot to mention to tell you, there's a ship that they call the Griffin, which is basically a ripoff to Super X3. So, this thing, led Godzilla up to the city like they were going to trap him again, like for the second time. But then Megaguirus gets involved, and let me tell you something, guys. Don't expect, you guys think this is going to be an epic fight when it comes to Godzilla fighting against the Kaiju Witch, but this is not the case, because this is probably one of the most boring fights I've ever had to deal with. So I'm not saying it's the worst, but one of the most boring ones. It's not really entertaining. It's not really terrible. It's just not that great. Like, it's not great. I'd say it's whatever. It's a whatever fight. So plus it's nothing special. So don't expect this fight to be super long or something like that, and making a fight longer just makes it terrible. I mean, come on, Godzilla versus Space Godzilla's final fight was like endless, like you want it to end. So this one here, it's nothing special. So I will try to go over the fight. All right. So the fight starts with Megaguirus trying to dash on Godzilla like fast enough. Flying around, shit like, who knows. Godzilla breathes his atomic breath to fire at Megaguirus, and she dodges everything. Megaguirus flies around, like, whatever, flying around, and Godzilla, who gives a shit. Then there's pretty much, another one of those jump scares in the Godzilla film, probably because Megaguirus looks terrifying, and she comes out, like, Godzilla starts turning around and stuff like that, and then Megaguirus goes, "Ah!" or whatever. And, like, when I was a kid, I literally jumped. Like, it gave me a jump scare. Megaguirus stabs Godzilla on the stomach or belly or something, or probably his crotch. When I was a kid, even though I'm still doing it right this moment, and I still watch it, I literally crossed my legs or cover my crotch or something like that, because that is just I was terrified. Like, that was oh my god, like I want to hold my crotch or something, like, because Megaguirus stabbed him on the guts, so, and sucked up most of his energy, which basically Godzilla cannot breathe his atomic breath. Throw Godzilla like down to between two buildings that he was still laying down, which has a diamond type shape, pointy thing on the bottom, so like it was stab Godzilla. Megaguirus was like over it, and then she gives like a terrifying grin, like it's like she's laughing, like ah ha 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 ha, and Megaguirus starts dropping that shit down, which ultimately failed, because come on, Godzilla cannot be killed by that shit. So Megaguirus starts flying over when, I don't know, and Godzilla gets back up, and the Godzilla head shaking, whatever, it looks stupid, okay? It's like one of the worst shots I've ever seen. It's just, I mean, I didn't mention this. This is probably the most clumsy-eyed Godzilla incarnations ever, because Godzilla is super clumsy in this movie. During the fight with Megaguirus, he's super clumsy. So Megaguirus, once again, is like starting to fly on Godzilla, like going to dash him out. But what's really cool with those spines, as I mentioned before, with Godzilla's long spines, the dorsal spikes, Godzilla starts ducking, and which actually sliced Megaguirus's like wrist or claw, whatever. Megaguirus gets pissed, and she starts to fly around again, trying to attack Godzilla multiple times. Blah 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 blah. She tried to do the stabbing thing again, but then Godzilla grabs the tail and drops it on the. Well, no. First of all, Megaguirus is flying, got to use her tail attack, but what's really cool is that Godzilla actually grabs her tail with his tail, like swirl around and drop her to the ground, and she slides onto a building. Megaguirus starts to stab Godzilla again, like she did, but Godzilla actually grabs her tail with his bare hands, put it on the ground, and Godzilla starts to do it, which is probably a really dumb thing. Godzilla's body slam, like, okay, seriously? Okay, yes, it is which is probably one of the most interesting things ever. Like, we haven't seen this. Like, what the fuck? Godzilla jumps so high. He literally lands on Megaguirus. Like, that's something we haven't seen in a very long time since Godzilla vs. Megalon. I mean, Godzilla vs. Megalon was much more cooler than this shit. And I mean, really, that's obvious. Godzilla vs. Megalon's dropkick was way better and way more funnier and cooler than this cheese ball thing. So Megaguirus flies again, trying to blast Godzilla with all the energy she shook up that actually gave out his atomic radiation. When she hit Godzilla, it looks like Godzilla was able to survive that, but then he landed on ground. Megaguirus starts stashing him like she did in the beginning of the fight, but then when Megaguirus has that pointy, the tail is what I meant she stabbed him with. When the camera freezed when she hit Godzilla's head, when it hit Godzilla's head, well, I was like, okay, you thought like, okay, he's really dead, like he's dead, but as it turns out, it went on Godzilla's teeth or mouth. What? Like, that is so random. That is so random. Godzilla sure, he has great reflexes, but this? Godzilla is clumsy in this movie. He's not a smartass like he was in the Heisei or the Monsterverse. Those Godzillas are much smarter, and this one is not. This one is not even. Okay, he is smart. Godzilla's supposed to be smart, like usually, but this one is like, he's super clumsy. I mean, come on. So, yeah. And then Megaguirus starts squealing out big time, like her tail, her pointy tail that she stabs Godzilla with is like broke off, and Godzilla blasts his atomic breath twice on Megaguirus, and she literally dies. Whoop the fuckaroo! Yeah! So then, the characters, including Kiriko, actually fix the black hole. They set the trap. She actually goes down to the ground with a plane that actually targets at Godzilla, and the plane was even targeted by the black hole. And when she got off the ship, it's basically true that the ship blew up and she survived well. Godzilla was in the black hole, and boom, he disappeared. Well, hooray for mediocrity! Yeah, babes. And then later on we cut to her with the scientist I mentioned, who's pretty much the dumbass Kudo, that's his name. She goes up to him like, say, what if we actually manage to do all the things, or what if Godzilla survives the black hole? And then he's like, I'm done with lizard shit, bullshit, whatever. And then she's like, you're somewhat of a chicken. And he goes, nah, I'm just joking. And she punched him in the broken arm. And was like, dude. And she goes, oh, I'm sorry. And then after that, it cuts to the credits. This is probably the worst ending I've ever seen. End shot, like, I'm sorry, and then it cuts to credits. That is the stupidest ending I've ever seen in a Godzilla film. Like, really. My God. I can't deal with that. So, that's how the movie ends, and yes, I know, there was an after credits scene, and it sucks too. The end shot where we see the kid, that he actually sees Godzilla actually survived. Come on, man. Is that really necessary? It's a stupid end. It's one of the worst after credit scenes ever. So, let me tell you. So, yes, the movie is not that special. It's not the best. It is one of the most underrated Godzilla movies, but mixed with hate instead of love. This is one of those movies I didn't really enjoy, honestly, because it's just a dull-looking movie. So, the characters are nothing special. They're nothing great. The movie directed by Masaki Tezuka. I don't know. I mean, that didn't work well, no. Music by Michiru Oshima. She did really great. Her Godzilla music is pretty great. Like, she did so well. She composed the music and she did so well. Not part of my top 5 favorite music composers in the Godzilla franchise, but she's pretty good. She did her music pretty good. I mean, obviously, there's a little bit of Akira Ifukube music, but whatever. So yeah, special effects, whatever. Let's talk about the monsters. Let's just end this already with the monsters. Megaguirus. Yep, we got ourselves a Kaiju Witch here. Ha 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 ha! Yeah, and by the way, that grin looks terrifying. Megaguirus is not really that much of a big deal. I mean, when I was a kid, I hate her so bad. Like, she was one of my least favorite Kaijus, but now I look at her, I don't think she's that bad. I don't think she's really that bad. I wish she was done in a better movie than this shit, because this is not a good movie to watch, honestly. Just like with Anguirus in Godzilla Raids Again. But this one, it's just... I don't know what to say about it. I mean, it's somewhat of a rehash of Godzilla vs. Biollante, a female kaiju being regenerated from Godzilla's energy. But, well, Biollante is biologically Godzilla's sister, and was having the Godzilla cells. Megaguirus is just a clone wannabe, just like Orga. It's just a wannabe, just like Orga. So, yeah, Megaguirus is just... I mean, she's a pretty cool kaiju. Don't get me wrong. I know my friend... I know Bob Sherlock has her on his top 10 favorite Godzilla kaijus. I mean, I totally respect that. I know some people like Megaguirus. I don't really mind Megaguirus. I thought she was okay. I thought she's a pretty cool kaiju in her own type. Her appearance in Rodan, I don't know what to say, but I don't think she's that bad. So, yeah. Godzilla himself. I kept mentioning this before. This Godzilla is silly. This Godzilla looks super cartoony. Like, I say cartoony because his face, like, whenever he shakes around, it's just that it makes him look derpy. It's just cartoony, and that's pretty much which I believe D-Man 1954 doesn't forgive about this design, because they made him look like a red atomic breath breathing green dinosaur with purple dorsal spikes. Like, yes, I'm actually with him. Like, whenever I see the green Godzilla, I always think of, I mean, come on. This is not the Hanna-Barbera Godzilla. This is not the Marvel Comics. Okay, don't get... Like, and which you think I'm still complaining about Godzilla Jr. being green. Okay, don't get me wrong. Godzilla Jr. is great. Him as green is way better than this guy. I mean, Godzilla being green, like, too bright. That's too much of a bright green than how he was in the previous film. That's so much of it. I mean... That is all I could tell you guys. I am not obscuredly that much into this movie, I think this is not a good one. So when I introduce it to people who are not Godzilla fans, no. No, you should not. Well, okay, sure, it's up to you, but yeah, you could show them the intro. That's pretty cool, okay? Really good intro, but everything else, I am not going to review that again. So, with that being said, I'm giving this movie a 5 out of 10. Definitely not a rewatchable film, but only from a year to now or stuff. So there it is. Not reviewing it again, not watching it again like some other ones, but who knows? So 5 out of 10, and oh, thank God, because next week I'm going to be reviewing GMK, which thank God I'm going to review that movie. But even that movie does have some of its flaws, whatever. But yeah, I'm done with this review. I'll see you guys next weekend, where we review GMK. So, yes, this is SB Goju Fans signing off. Bye.